Up, please. Y'all be sure to take good care of our bartender, Jordan. Our waitresses tonight, Christina and Sydney. They work very hard to take care of all of us. Kristen, can I hear you, please?
Sure.
And the vocal mic?
Testing, 1, 2.
Great.
Testing.
CC Martin. Your vocal mic, please.
Check, 1, 2. Yep.
And Cindo Santos. And your vocal mic?
Hello there.
Alrighty, I'll have it in nice hand. This is Kristen, Barkloo, CC Martin, Cindo Santos.
All right, well, my name is Kristen Barkloo, and I'm actually going to play a song that I wrote last semester, actually in history class. I'm in college, and I just kind of wrote this one down, so I'm going to play it for you now. It's called What About September? I can picture it back again, little town quiet in the moonlight, and those autumn leaves scattered around our feet. You always said you won't forget back when we were living for the nighttime, or those cranberry sunsets down by Crooked Creek. But now the leaves are gone and you run out of reasons. I guess wintertime was just never our season. What about September when we laid under the stars, thanking God for autumn nights that little town was ours? Back then we never thought the cold was gonna turn to snow. You could have stayed forever, now I guess we'll never know. Don't look at me and say you don't remember. What about September? You were laughing there, messy hair, and that was when I saw it for the first time. That kaleidoscope of colors through the trees. Back then, did you know it would go like this the whole time? Well, I guess nothing in life's really evergreen. I can't help but think if I could change the weather, I'd bring that first breeze back, and boy, you just might remember. What about September when we laid under the stars, thanking God for autumn nights that little town was ours? Back then we never thought the cold was gonna turn to snow. You could have stayed forever, now I guess we'll never know. Don't look at me and say you don't remember. What about September? What about September? What about September when we laid under the stars, thanking God for autumn nights that little town was ours? Back then we never thought the cold was gonna turn to snow. You could have stayed forever, now I guess we'll never know. Don't look at me and say you don't remember. Don't you look at me and say you don't remember. What about September? What about September? Thank you.
And that was Kristen Barkloo and her CC Martin.
How y'all doing tonight? It's a song, if you ever been to a military funeral, this will mean a little more to you than it does the average person. If you decide to clap when it's over, please do it for the vets. It's about the memorial flag. He said it's up there on the mantle, next to the picture from the day. Their son left for basic, and he was just 18. He said it don't seem like all that long ago. He was just a boy. 90 days from the day they took that picture, he got deployed. He said, right then I knew that freedom wasn't free. It don't hit home till you send off one of your own. Then he asked me, have you ever seen an American flag of freedom? They look the same as the others, but many folks don't know. Flags of freedom are never flown, but they're the ones laid over wood, folded up and carried home. He said on the other side of that picture are the ribbon and the medal from the war. Friend, if you're not in too big a hurry, I'd like to tell you what they're for. He said this one's for the day he went behind enemy lines. His buddy said he showed up just in the nick of time. And this one here is the one we hold most dear. The Medal of Honor never got to wear. Have you ever seen an American flag of freedom? They look the same as the others, but many folks don't know that flags of freedom are never flown. They're the ones laid over wood, folded up and carried home. This here's an American flag of freedom. It looks the same as the others, but many folks don't know. Flags of freedom are never flown. And if folks don't know, then well, they should. That they're the ones laid over wood, folded up and carried home.
C.C. Martin.
Thank you.
And here is Cindo Santos.
Hello there. It's actually my first time at an open mic in Nashville, so it's pretty exciting. I live in South Florida. This song is called Comet's Tail. Hello, Moses on the mountain top. Come on down, lead your pagan flock. Lead us through the desert sands, over to the promised land. We'll be flying in a comet's tail, far above the earthly skies. Free from gravity and free from pain, shooting stars by your side. Hello, Jesus on the mountain top. Come on down, save our weary souls. We've been trading the truth for gold, find ourselves still growing old. We'll be flying in a comet's tail, far far above the earthly skies. Free from gravity and free from pain, shooting stars by your side. Hello, prophet, for the stars, shine the lights on who we are. We've been stuck on Sunset Boulevard, driving fast, not getting far. We'll be flying in a comet's tail, far above the earthly skies. Free from gravity and free from pain, shooting stars by your side. We'll be flying in a comet's tail, far above the ozone layer. We'll be smiling in the sky, looking down, waving bye-bye. Bye-bye, bye-bye. Looking down, waving bye-bye, bye-bye, bye-bye.
Cindo Santos.
Thank you.
And we got one more from Kristen Barkloo.
Okay. You know, over the summer, I was working as a camp counselor at a child and youth center. And I was working with kids ages like 5 to 10, I'd say. And I was working in the arts and crafts room one day. And there was this little girl, about 6 years old, I'd say. And she was drawing a little painting of a pink heart, and it was all sparkly, except she was drawing two of them. They were both identical. And I said, why are you drawing two of the same heart? Why don't you just, conserve your energy and draw one? And she said, one's for my mommy's house and one's for daddy's house. And the way that she said it, just so nonchalantly, just broke my heart, honestly. And so that's what I wrote the song about. It's called Saving Grace. Grace said I pack my things up every other Friday. I love Daddy's house, but it's so far away. He said he loved me, but he can't take all the fighting. But one day soon, he's gonna wanna stay. And as he drives away, she's watching from the window. She's the only thing that mattered in that place. And do you think about what she's been told when you're talking to your 6-year-old with those baby blues wide upon her face? What about saving grace? Grace said I drew this picture for my daddy's office. It sparkles pink, but he like it anyway. Just like that ring that Mom keeps hidden in her pocket. She said she's holding on to it still just in case. And as he drives away, she's watching from the window. She's the only thing that mattered in that place. And do you think about what she's been told when you're talking to your 6-year-old with those baby blues wide upon her face? What about saving grace? Never knew you had the choice. No, your life was her whole world. Tell me where in your conviction is that wide-eyed little girl. 'Cause as he drives away, she's watching from the window. She's the only thing that mattered in that place. And do you think about what she's been told when you're talking to your 6-year-old with those baby blues wide upon her face? What about saving grace? What about saving grace? What about it? What about it? They watched Grace pack her things up every other Friday. And that was where they found their saving grace.
And that's Kristen and Barkloo.
Thank you.
And we got one more from CC Martin.
Wife gave birth to a beautiful baby boy for me probably about 5 years ago. I was real happy about that. She came home from a medical job wearing some scrubs. I said, "You sure look pretty." She said, "Yeah, right." Anyway, I really did mean it. I thought she looked hot. So I wrote this song. It's kind of my answer to that, "Yeah, right." Went in the bathroom, sang it to her, sat on the toilet. The lid was down. And anyway, got the reaction you think it would have in the bathroom. But anyway, it's called "Can't Take My Eyes Off You." You walk through the front door, looking so pretty, you don't even know what you do. The way you set your purse down, run your fingers to your hair, and kick off your shoes. You might have thought I was watching the ball game. Right now I feel like I can't lose. You asked me who just took the lead, I couldn't tell you. Of course I can't take my eyes off of you. I can't take my eyes off of you. There's just something about the way you do. I can take hanging out with your friends, be a good sport when you win, girl. At 8 ball you can take me to school. But the one thing I can't seem to do, I just can't take my eyes off of you. You might get to thinking that I'm not looking 'cause you don't feel all fixed up. Well, honey, let me tell you, so you don't have to wonder if you still got what it takes. You make my heart skip a beat, knock me slam off my feet to know I'm the man that you're coming home to. And the one thing I can't seem to do, I just can't take my eyes off of you. I can't take my eyes off of you. There's just something about the way you do. Well, I can take hanging out with your friends, be a good sport when you win, girl. At 8 ball you could take me to school. But the one thing I can't seem to do, I just can't take my eyes off of you. I can't take my eyes off of you. There's just something about the way you do. Well, I can write you a love song, sing to you all night long, romance you under the moon. But the one thing I can't seem to do, no, the one thing I can't seem to do, I just can't take my eyes off of you.
CC Martin.
Thank you.
And we got our last song for the night. Y'all give it up for Cindo Santos.
Thank you. This one is called Don't Look Back. Don't look back, don't look back anymore. I've given up, so I don't want it back anymore. 'Cause I don't care anymore, and we don't dare anymore. There is no here anymore. And I'll show myself to the door. Don't look back, don't look back anymore. I've given up, so I don't want it back anymore. Memories crawling up the walls, tidbits scattered on the floor, leaky faucets that work no more. And I'll show myself to the door. Windows draped in sorrow, blinding out tomorrow, empty drawers and empty decor. And I'll show myself to the door. Don't look back, don't look back anymore. I've given up, so I don't want it back anymore. 'Cause I don't care anymore, and we don't dare anymore. There is no here anymore. And I'll show myself to the door.
Cindo Santos.
Thank you.
That concludes our Writers' Night. I want to thank all of you that played. All of you with open mic, thank you also. It did an awesome job. And thank you, Brian Howell,